I'm sorry?
Can you tell us what you hope to hear today from the
Yeah,
president?
well, we intentionally wanted Jean-Pierre to be one of the last people we bring in. We believe that she's written some things in the book that are going to be of interest to our entire investigation. We've seen a lot of reports, and obviously we have the emails that have surfaced in the last week that would suggest that there was a process that the Biden administration was using to use the Autopen that was in direct conflict with the Merrick Garland Department of Justice. And the process by which the email said the Biden administration was using to approve the Autopen are inconsistent with many of the depositions and transcribed interviews that we've gotten thus far from this investigation. So we have Jean-Pierre today. We have one more, and then we'll review from there to see if we need to bring additional people in. But I think, one of the questions was about Kamala Harris, and what Kamala Harris has written that came out in the last 48 hours was consistent with what we believe we have learned in this administration with respect to the decision-making process and the lack of respect that the staffers and the people around the Biden White House had for President Biden. So, again, this is a serious investigation about the legality of the use of the Autopen, the excessive use of the Autopen, and whether or not Joe Biden had any idea who was using the Autopen and what the Autopen was used to sign with respect to legal documents.
What's the end goal here? What is the end goal with this investigation?
Well, the end goal is always to get the truth to the American people. We can't prosecute. We can refer. But, I think the question that I have is, are these pardons and executive orders legal? I don't think anyone's going to argue that the process that was used for these Autopens is the ideal process. And what we've seen with the emails that have surfaced in the last week, even the Merrick Garland Department of Justice was very concerned about how this administration was using the Autopen. When people in the Department of Justice email people who they believe was the ones making the decisions on the Autopen and ask the question via email from the Department of Justice, does the president even know who they just pardoned? I mean, that's very concerning. So we're going to try to get answers to the American people. Once these depositions wrap up, we'll release the transcripts like we always do. But I can again say there are inconsistencies with what people have testified to us in these depositions and what we are seeing from these emails as far as the process that the Biden administration used for the Autopen. So hopefully we'll have more information very soon, and thank you all for being here.
The suspect has apparently been captured and ID'd. What is your response to that? And in general, is this a pivotal moment, a turning point perhaps?
Well, I'm very happy for the local law enforcement. We had confidence in the local law enforcement. I was asked yesterday, would the oversight be involved in this in any form or fashion? I said no, because I have confidence in the local law enforcement. I have confidence in Kash Patel and the FBI. I know that Patel and Bongino both flew out to Utah, so this was a priority for the FBI. And obviously the suspect deserves due process, but from what I've learned, he's already confessed. So you all will be able to get the answers for all of us very soon on that. But I think everyone feels a lot safer in Congress. There was a lot of anxiety yesterday when the shooter obviously was on the run, and many of us do a lot of outdoor events, so that's something that I think today, this morning, the apprehension of the suspect will ease a lot of nerves in Congress.
Are you going to keep doing outdoor events, or how do you feel about your own security, even though he was apprehended?
Well, I mean, we're all concerned right now, and I think we all know that the political temperature in America is too high. I think both parties can accept responsibility for that. I think the media can accept some responsibility for that. So hopefully, we'll all do better in the future.
Do you expect to have public hearings once you wrap these transcribed interviews?
On the Autopen, I can see a scenario where we have a public hearing, but I believe that a report will be imminent, and obviously from that report, I think it's going to answer a lot of questions as to what we learned the process was for the Autopen, who was operating the Autopen, and whether or not we believe Joe Biden had any knowledge of who was using that Autopen and for what.
The press secretary is not part of what's been called the Politburo. Do you expect to get less information from her, or is this about what the White House has been telling the people as opposed to what we know already?
Well, I think that one reason we've delayed Jean-Pierre is because we knew she had a book coming out. We knew Kamala Harris had a book coming out. So the books, I think, are going to tell the story that we've been hearing in the depositions. It's counter to what many people have been reporting over the last year. So we just wanted to wait as long as possible. But at the same time, we want to make this investigation as speedy as possible without leaving out any facts. I mean, it's tough to do a congressional investigation. I mean, these are never known for speed or efficiency, but we believe time is of the essence because what's at stake are all of the legal documents that were signed with the Autopen, especially in the last 9 months when, by all accounts, President Biden was checked out of office. And what you're seeing from Kamala yesterday, I thought was an admission of a huge lack of respect for Joe Biden when she says, well, I think Joe, we should have never let Joe make that decision. Joe and Jill make that decision. I mean, that's a pretty bold admission of lack of respect. And I think that's kind of a trend we're seeing with respect to the excessive use of the Autopen. So we'll have more hopefully very soon, but thank you all for being here.